Okay, good afternoon. The time is now 4:40, and I would like to call to order the Board of Police Commissioners for the July 15th meeting. We have a quorum, and the first item on the agenda would be the approval of the minutes of June 17th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
I move approval of minutes of June 17th.
Any corrections, deletions, or omissions?
Yes, on page 1, under public comments, line 3, the first word agendas, apostrophe S, that should be agendas without an apostrophe for plural.
Okay. Any further corrections, deletions, or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of approval of the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Aye. Motion. Any opposed? Abstentions? You're muted, Commissioner, but I can see that you abstained.
I abstained.
I read your lips.
Okay, you were
so-
correct.
We have 4 in favor, none opposed, and Commissioner Sumter abstains. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Do we have anybody wishing to address the Board of Police Commissioners?
If you'd like to speak, can you please raise your hand electronically and I will unmute you? We do not, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. We'll close public participation. Public comment. Next item on the agenda is June Officer of the Month, Officer Justin Culmer. Chief?
Yes, Mayor. Justin's with us this afternoon. Honored to announce that Officer Justin Culmer has been named June 2024 Officer of the Month. Justin was recognized for his dedication and efforts in the Behavioral Health Unit in June 2024 and throughout the year. Below are just a few examples of how Officer Culmer has demonstrated his dedication to the residents of Norwalk. A resident of the city of Norwalk had suffered from mental health for a very long time, and the Norwalk Police Department had a long history of assisting this individual before the creation of the BHU. In June, Officer Culmer was able to secure a long-term bed at Connecticut Valley Hospital. This full-time hospital specializes in addressing the needs of those with severe mental illness. With this transfer, this individual will be given the resources needed to live a higher quality of life. Up until this time, they have been a resident of Casina Care, and while it's a full-time nursing home, this individual still had over 25 calls for service in the calendar year 2024 alone. Another case of Officer Culmer's dedication to our community members in need includes an individual who suffers from schizophrenia. Officer Culmer spoke with the supervising officer at Norwalk Probation and State's Attorney at Stanford Court to assist in this individual being properly assessed by the Stanford Court for a lack of complying with his conditions of release. Officer Culmer also provided aid to an individual who suffers from opioid addiction. Within a couple of days, we received 2 overdose calls for service where the individual was given Narcan. During the second incident, Officer Culmer responded and followed the ambulance with the individual to the hospital. In collaboration with Norwalk Hospital and the Liberation programs, the resident was successfully admitted to a 3-month rehabilitation program for opioid addiction through Liberation. The family was given additional resources for them to cope with their loved ones' ongoing struggles. Finally, another example of Officer Culmer's dedication to the Norwalk community comes from a case where a 5-month pregnant female was reportedly drinking vodka daily. Patrol had received multiple calls for service on consecutive days for intoxication. Officer Culmer and BHU became involved and collaborated with outside agencies, including a peer engagement specialist from Norwalk Hospital, a private interventionist, and a treatment center in Pennsylvania, helping the woman to be transferred from the hospital directly to the treatment center for a long-term rehabilitation. Additionally, Officer Culmer and the VHU have handled over 284 cases this year with over a 54% connection rate to services. Officer Culmer routinely remains in constant contact with over 25 community agencies to arrange for additional care for Norwalk residents in need, including 14 overdose cases with the Liberation program. For these reasons and a continued dedication to his job and the Norwalk residents, Officer Justin Culmer is an excellent candidate for June Officer of the Month.
Well, that's quite a remarkable
Wow.
history of things. You know, it's I see Officer Culmer is with us, and Officer Culmer, congratulations for all your efforts. I know this can be very challenging and very difficult, but it's apparent that you also recognize that are people that have special needs, and it's not always the normal thing that we would think that how we help people, but we can help them through getting them the services and the treatment that they need. And it's quite impressive that you have become so adept at doing those things and helping people who do need help. So I, for one, on behalf of the city, appreciate all that you've done and congratulate you in being selected Officer of the Month. Other commissioners wish to make a comment?
I do, Mayor.
Commissioner Palladino.
Yes, congratulations, Officer Comore. It's great to see that you were able to get meaningful help to these individuals. Without, they would probably continue to go through the criminal system, which would have no positive outcome for those individuals. So congratulations and thank you.
Any further comment?
Oh, okay, I'd like
Commissioner
to
Sumter?
commend Officer Culmer for a job well done in helping those in the time of need. Because as a policeman, we look at, or at least I shouldn't say, I got to speak for myself. I didn't think the depth that you actually went to help these individuals is spectacular as far as I'm concerned. And I just, my hat's off to you for really looking out for those that are part of our community. And as Commissioner Palladino stated, it puts them in a better place to be a better citizen within the Norwalk community and really within the world. So commend you.
Further comment? Oh, go ahead,
Officer
Commissioner.
Officer Calmer, I also give kudos to you for the work that you did, especially in becoming named the June Officer of the Month, and also all of the work that you do during the year. Not only have you helped the individuals, you've helped the family, you've helped the city, you've helped your department, and it's just remarkable work that you continue to do time after time. And you know, we don't see what actually happens when we get the numbers each month as to how many people are referred to the BHU. But seeing this highlighted gives us new appreciation for those numbers and the work that you and others do. Thank you so very much.
Further comment, discussion.
You're muted,
Commissioner
Tony.
Lopez, you're muted. Okay, Commissioner
Thank
Lopez.
you, Officer Comer, so much. Appreciate your dedication and congratulations for the Office of the Month. Well, very well deserved. And we do appreciate what you bring to our community. And of course, as I said, your dedication means a lot to the community. And of course, everybody is well off and better off because of that. Thank you.
Officer Culmer, would you like to say anything?
I appreciate it, Mayor. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes.
Apologize, my computer's having trouble. No, I really appreciate being recognized. I would tell all of you that it's definitely, it's not just me alone. I have two great clinicians that work with me, supported them as well as chain of command chief, obviously the deputy chiefs that are here. My sergeant's been instrumental. Lieutenant Galino, she was kind of the one who paved the groundwork for all of us to really come true. So I think it's really a joint effort. You know, we just got to try to continue to help those that need it. So appreciate you having me tonight.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see where we go next. So next item on the agenda is the patrol staffing, Deputy Chief Blake.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. For the month of June 2024, we're fully staffed with 183 personnel. 144 sick days were used, 45 workers' compensation days were used, with one officer remaining on long-term injury. There's during the month of June, 3 officers were on administrative leave. Detective Bureau opened up 48 cases in June. As you can see, there's statistics for those particular categories. They arrested a suspect for a burglary, interfering with 911 call and disorderly conduct. The individual entered a residence during the overnight hours, and the person that was home was awoken by this individual. And the detectives were able to not only identify this individual, but locate them and charge them within a very short period of time. There was also a suspect arrested via warrant on 3 counts of failure to register as a sex offender. This individual is known to the Norwalk Police Department and had been involved in sex trafficking of minors in the past. Special Services opened up 52 cases, very busy during that month. Highlights for that month, or for last month, they executed search warrants at the Exotic Smoke Shop at 68 Washington Street and the Sono One Stop Smoke Shop at 83 Washington Street. They made 2 arrests, and there were hundreds of products above the legal limit of THC that were seized. Special Victims opened 23 cases. They made an arrest by warrant charging an individual with sexual assault 4th and 2 counts of risk of injury for sexually assaulting a child. There was a juvenile arrested at their home for possession of a ghost gun and several narcotics charges. This is a great case that certainly may well have prevented a shooting or some type of incident happening. So great work by our Special Victims Unit. The Marine Division had 65 cases for the month of June. They were up like 30% from last year, which was a record year for them. Highlights, they rescued 14 persons. They had 2 after-hours call-outs. They towed a boat, 14 boating violations. They made a boat burglary arrest. Officer Lee had investigated a case of boat burglary, was able to identify the suspect, and subsequently obtained an arrest warrant. They arrested that individual out of town, and they had rescued 5 people off a boat that was actively sinking. We made 256 total arrests in June, and put the patrol division responded to 6,696 calls for the month. Once again, the day shift remains the busiest shift, followed by our evening shift. On our SE report, there was 838 stops for the month of June. Again, higher than it was last year, and the officers continue to be very proactive in their efforts to curb violations as well as motor vehicle accidents with injuries.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners or any comments?
Deputy Chief Blake, how do we compare to 2023?
What specifically, sir?
On all of these, in other words, are we up, are we down? Burglaries, commercial burglaries?
Yeah, so if you look on the there's a subsequent page. It's in red and blue.
Yeah, that gives us for the month.
That's for the month of June. That compares last year to this year.
Correct, but is year to date, are we up, down?
I don't have that information in front of me, sir, but I can certainly get it for you.
Okay, not an issue. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments?
I have none.
Thank you. I don't see Deputy Chief Dinho here. Who's going to handle this part of the Community Services Division?
I will, Mayor.
Okay,
Deputy Chief Dinho's on vacation currently. Community Police Services Division, total calls for service 741 for the month of June. They did several major events, MPD Community Forum, FBI Symposium presentation, Gun Violence Month recognition, Touch a Truck, Filling in the Blanks Food Pantry, We're Waiting Community Meeting, Chaplain Appreciation Event, Mayor Veterans Honoring at Pinstripes, Ryan Park Graduation Day, Juneteenth Celebration, and Complete Streets Event. The traffic unit, total motor vehicle stops was 303 of the data that Deputy Chief Blake had provided. Major selective enforcement locations, which are generated by resident complaints in the analysis of Yukon crash data: Calf Pasture Beach Road, Connecticut Avenue, Rampart Road, Highland Avenue, East Avenue, Silvermine, and Westport Avenue. The behavioral health unit, they opened up 44 cases, Referred from outside agencies, 1, cases addressed 44, cases closed 26, self-initiated cases 9. Referred from the police internally, which is 34, which is a great number. That means patrol is referring a lot of cases to BHU based on their response, which is a model that we've been looking for, and it's growing by the month. Training division, total subject areas were 13, total attendees 38. If you go to the training report, it's broken down by date and class. We had classes in water safety. We took Lieutenant Zwillich attended the FBI leadership course, firearms training, identification and suspects, crimes against people and crimes against property. The K-9 team had its monthly training. De-escalation training was attended by several officers. Use of force, range policy review, patrol rifle, qualifications, water safety, MRT, which is medical response technician, another course in water safety, medical response technician, and decision shooting, which is a use of force type shooting. Training, I should say.
Yeah, okay, thank you. The Community Services Division did join me on June 13th over at Pinstripes. I just thought it would be kind of an interesting comment. They came over and there was a gentleman who was a World War II veteran who it was his birthday and he was 105 years old.
Wow. And
he was joined by his family at Pinstripes, and they asked me to join them, and I gave him a proclamation. It was absolutely, he was so sharp and amazingly just like he was 80 years old or 75 years old. He could hear without a hearing aid. He heard everything I said, even though I didn't hear everything I said. But it was really, really remarkable. And I was really pleased to do that. Next, we have administrative report. That would be Deputy Chief Lepore, I believe. Yes, there she is.
Yes. Yep. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. For the administrative report for our grants and inspections unit, for the grant hires, we had 7 DUI grant hires for the month of June for a total of 63.5 hours. They conducted 10 field sobriety tests. They had 10 breathalyzer tests from that, and that led to 10 DUI arrests. The officers in those hires made 55 car stops and issued a total of 44 infraction tickets. Speed and aggressive driving grant, which began July 1st, started with week 1. That was funded. It was a total of 96 hours. Officers made 153 car stops and issued 146 infractions. And that'll be going throughout the month. But that was for our first holiday weekend. The Lieutenant Orr completed the port security grant, and that was submitted to FEMA for the purchase of various scuba and marine unit equipment. We will hear back sometime in September for that award, see if we received it. The unannounced property room inspection was conducted. No major discrepancies were found. There were some recommendations were suggested to maximize storage capacity concerns. No other divisional inspections are scheduled until September. For the crime scene unit, they fingerprinted 104 persons, 38 which were pistol permits. They processed 38 case requests for DVDs and photos. They had 44 cases processed for evidence. 116 patrol cases were downloaded for camera and photographs of scene and fingerprint submissions. 1 background was conducted for a massage therapist from Coco Healthy Spa. No solicitor permit requests, and they responded and processed 2 crime scenes in June. For the professional standards division, dashboard and camera, body camera, we had 1 camera that was returned for Axon for repair and replacement. That has been returned back to us and is back on one of the vehicles. We had 31 requests for cases for body and dashboard camera videos. They burned 11 discs of videos and had 18 electronic shares with Stanford Court. For accreditation, Our sergeant that was there was on vacation a couple days here and there in June, using up his vacation time. So right now, he's just continually reviewing standards for any policy changes and collecting proofs for the standards for our annual audit.
Okay, sounds like the division is very busy. Quite impressed with the number of inspections that you're doing, because I know they're required by accreditation, but they're really hard to keep going. So I appreciate the fact that you're doing this on a regular basis.
Thank you.
Any comments or questions or for Deputy Chief Lepore?
Deputy,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
Deputy Chief Lepore, I just want to know if the unannounced property room inspections, is that a part of CALEA requirements or is that internal SOP?
Well, it is in our policy, but it is part of our CALEA accreditation. That is one of our standards that we are required to conduct an unannounced inspection in property, because there is an annual one that is required also yearly.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner
Yes,
Sumter.
yes, Mayor, you mentioned something just before about inspections.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, I'll let Deputy Chief Lepore explain, but basically through accreditation, you really have to inspect every division, every cycle. Is that correct, Deputy Chief?
Yes, Mayor. So Commissioner, we have a schedule that all our divisions within the department have to be inspected, and each one is on a separate cycle. So we have them actually calculated out. Some of them have to be every year, like the property room, which is twice a year, actually, one annual and one unannounced. And then our other divisions like the training division, special services, or special victims unit, they're on a rotating basis. Some of them are triannually, so it's every 3 years. So we have them scheduled out. We actually have a calendar scheduled out for when they are due and which year and what month. So yes, so all our divisions do get inspected per our CALEA policy and standards.
And when they're inspected, when you said they're due, where does the information go? Is it in-house and just?
Yes,
What do you-
yes, sir.
you mean,
We usually get a write-up from, so
Yeah.
Lieutenant Dave Orr, who's in charge of that, he'll give us a write-up and it'll come through me. And I'll review it to make sure that he has hit all the bullet points that are required by CALEA. And then what I'll do is I'll have him either go back and either correct it or see if there's any deficiencies or anything like that. And then it's reported to the chief. And then we also have to keep it and complete it. Keep a completed copy for CALEA, and that is reviewed by our the agency manager who oversees us to make sure that we are in compliance.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions, comments, discussion? Okay, seeing none, thank you. I will now need a motion to go into executive session for a candidate interview.
Mayor, before we do that,
Yes.
just one quick thing. I did lose power and I'm on generators, so hopefully I'll have no issues, but I got kicked off for a couple of minutes, but hopefully we're good.
Okay, very good. So I need a motion to go into executive session.
So
I
moved.
move,
Commissioner Lopez moved to go into executive session. It is the time is 5:03. And we'll leave this. We will be coming back to this public session. Just now. Yeah, good. Thank you. Okay, the time is now 5:29. We are out of executive session. During executive session, no motions were made, no votes were taken. Now we have the issue before us, the item on the agenda to a vote on regarding probationary officer Ojeda. Do I have a motion?
I will make a motion that we accept Officer Ojeda as a candidate to be a part of the Norwalk Police Department.
And Chief, what was that date? August 1st?
Yes, his probationary appointment will start August 1st.
Commissioner, will you add that into your motion, please?
And the candidate will start as of August the 1st, 2024.
Okay, there's been a motion made to offer a probationary appointment to Officer Aldo Ojeda. Or is there any further comment or discussion?
I have none.
I have none.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Commissioner Lopez.
Sorry, I was muted. Aye.
I guess so there's 5 in favor, no opposed, and obviously no abstentions. Motion is passed, carried, and thank you and congratulations, Officer Ojeda. We look forward to having you on the Norwalk Police Department. And I have to advise you, from my perspective, you're joining the finest police department in the entire nation.
Thank you so
Here,
much.
here.
Congratulations.
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 I agree.
I-
Don't tell
Well-
me. I agree. As the mayor said, the finest in the nation.
Ooh,
And what-
Commissioner.
Congratulations, Officer Ojeda.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next, there is a tuition reimbursement for Lieutenant Robert Zwillich, Chief.
Yes, also, you could stay if you wish, if not.
Oh, I'm
you-
sorry. Yes, Officer Ojeda, would you like to say a few words?
Yes.
No, I would like to say thank you, everybody. It's a privilege to be here, and I definitely look forward to being part of the finest police department in the nation. Thank you.
Okay.
And the Lieutenant Galino will be in contact with you probably ongoing through the first to just arrange for it.
Roger that. Chief.
All right, thank you. Yes, next item is a application for tuition reimbursement submitted by Robert Zwillich, Lieutenant Robert Zwillich. He currently has his bachelor's degree. Name of school he's attending is Seton Hall University, master's degree, law enforcement and executive leadership. The course taken was crime prevention. It is a 3-credit course. The
I-
total
Go ahead.
The total reimbursement is $2,335. This course was approved at the August 21st, 2023 Police Commission meeting. I see his grade an A, and I also see the Seton Hall receipt for tuition from the admissions office.
I need a motion to move that forward.
I
I'll move.
move.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Commissioner Collier.
Thank you. I move tuition reimbursement for Robert Zillick in the amount of $2,335 as submitted.
Any questions? Comments? Seeing none, well, I want to congratulate Officer Zwillich and Commissioner Palladino. As we move forward, you'll see that there are so many police officers on the City of Norwalk Police Department, not only who have advanced degrees, but also those who are attempting to get their degrees or pursuing their degrees. We've got a very highly educated police department, and that certainly improves their ability to serve our community.
That has been a theme. I have noticed that for sure, and it's amazing.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Aye.
Next, vacation carryover for Deputy Chief Lepore. Deputy Chief Lepore?
Yes, Mayor, Police Commission, Deputy Chief Lepore is requesting to carry over 10 vacation days from the fiscal year 23-24 to the 24-25 fiscal year according to our contract.
Okay, and that is in the contract. Any questions or from the commission?
I have none.
I have no questions. Deputy Chief, I'm so sorry you had to carry these over. You're doing such a good job.
I tried using them. I did.
See no questions, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Deputy Chief Lepore. Next is Bachelor of Arts stipend for Officer Przemysław Rudzki. I don't know if I
Yes.
Przemysław.
Yes. Przemysław Rudzki, one of the newer officers just completing field training and graduated the academy about 4 months ago. He is submitting his proof of his Bachelor's of Arts from Florida Institute of Technology, Business Administration and Management for his stipend, which is outlined in the collective bargaining agreement.
And I see he graduated summa cum laude. So congratulations, the highest honors. I need somebody to move that forward.
I move the stipend for bachelor's degree for Officer Zimmy. Did you all call him Zimmy? Hello.
I call him Officer Rutsky. It's a lot easier.
Okay, Officer Rutsky, I'll do the
Okay.
same.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations to Officer Przemysław Rudzki. And now we're on complimentary letters, Chief.
Yes, Congressman Jim Himes sent a note to Deputy Chief Blake and the administration, thanking him for the critical role he played in coordinating security for the nominating convention at City Hall.
Okay.
Back in June. Thankful for his service.
Okay, very good.
And also another one in regards to Officer Stephen Green. If you remember Stephen, he was a lateral. We took him on a few months ago, late winter, early spring. He's done great. This is probably our second or third note that we've got, just really good work that he's been doing in the community. He's acclimated well. Yesterday, my wife and I were stopped at a red light in Connecticut Avenue, Norfolk, when our CRV hybrid lost power from the battery and the engine. Fortunately, I noticed a Norfolk police cruiser nearby. I walked over and spoke with Officer Green, who immediately moved his cruiser behind our disabled vehicle and turned on his flashing lights, protecting us from oncoming traffic. When the roadside service said it would take 2 hours for their tow truck to arrive, Officer Green stepped in and radioed for a different service who showed up in 30 minutes. My wife and I were so appreciative of Officer Green and the courteous service he provided us. Throughout our experience, his main focus was our safety and that all the traffic in the vicinity. Well done, Officer Green. And they also included a nice little photo of Officer Green for the records.
Very good. Again,
Chief, he was a lateral, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Right. I remember his parents. Very
Yes.
good.
got a good memory, Commissioner.
Let's pray it continues.
Yes, and then just last week, we had the missing child at Calf Pasture Beach, which was resolved quite swiftly by the 3rd Platoon. Wanted to take a moment to share a positive experience involving the Norfolk Police Department. Evening around 7:15, officers were on to a report of a missing child at Calf Pasture Beach. The writer was impressed by their proactive and engaged approach upon arrival, interacting with numerous beachgoers in a calm demeanor to swiftly locate not only the child, but also the mother and family. Officer Omar Rivera's decisive action in locating the child in the water and reuniting her with the mother was particularly commendable. In light of negative news media coverage, it was great to witness the professionalism displayed by your officers. The rapid response and effective communication played a crucial role and potentially saved this little girl's life. I believe it is important to highlight such positive experiences. Please extend my gratitude to Officer Rivera and the entire team involved in this incident. Their actions reflect greatly upon themselves and the department as a whole. Officer Rivera has probably been on the road just over a year now solely, and he's doing a great job. One of the newer generation of officers since 2022. Doing a great job.
Thank you. And I'm really impressed with not only the work that our officers are doing, because it's work that, sometimes it's very minor, something that you wouldn't think an officer spends a lot of time on, but they take the time to go above and beyond, no matter what the call is. But I'm also impressed with the number of people that will positively write on behalf of an officer. So, it's one thing to complain, and there are people that complain about the service of an officer from time to time, but when they take and notice that the work has been done in an appropriate and professional manner, it's always nice to see that they take the time to write. On a separate note, with Miss Billmeyer, who wrote this letter, she wrote me a note saying that she would suggest that we have perhaps a PA system installed down by the beach. I think that's a laudable idea, and I'm going to bring that to the attention of the Recreation Parks Committee and the Recreation and Parks team to see what can be done and how we can do that and when we can do it. I think it's always nice to have, even if we have to just announce people to, get out of the water. Right now they have the bullhorns, but sometimes that doesn't go well enough. So any other comments or commissioners from the commissioners?
No, to that last point you made, that's a valid point actually, because even as you think of even children being lost, if they can be called, hopefully things like that would be useful, those tools.
Yes. Any other commissioners' comments? Okay, well, our next meeting is August 19th, 2024. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
We move to adjourn at 5:41. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions? Nobody's going to oppose, huh? Okay. Well, again, thank you all for your time. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.
Everyone, take care.